All right. We are live. We made it.
We made
Mama, we made it. Yo, today is today. Okay. Whatever today is, it is today. I'm not sure what today is, but it is today. Um
Tuesday. It's Tuesday.
oh, and Sunday I am having a seminar, and you are one of the speakers, Cherette. Yay! So I wanted to go live with the speakers and just let y'all get a little piece of who we are, what we're all about. And if you haven't registered, you might miss the rest. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. So
Your mind.
so Charette, I just want you to introduce yourself to the peoples. Let them know who you is and what you got's going on. And yeah.
All right. Well, as you heard, my name is Cherette. I am a holistic health coach, and I assist Black entrepreneurs in hacking their brain so that they can create generational health. And I do that by coaching through consistency and habit development. So that is I. I'm also really big on nurturing the nervous system. So that is meditation, breath work, all things yoga, and calming the fuck down. Because once you get to a relaxed state, okay, once your nervous system gets to a relaxed state, there is no limit. Like, no cap, there's no limit. And a lot of us are dealing with very shot nervous systems. And in that, it's really hard to find balance in our health, our business, our personal life. And it's like the ocean gets real wavy.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm all about.
And that's what's up. I feel like that's a necessity. So when I created Inspire Big, Inspire Bigger in general, I created it for people like me who were figuring it out, who were realizing, there's some things that aren't working out the way I thought they would by now. And not that you need to be clocking yourself, but you also know when you're not headed in a direction, not even in a direction where you want to go.
Okay.
So you may think you're going to get there 10 years earlier and you'll be mistaken, and that's life. That's fine. But you're never going to get there if you are not intentional and mindful about what road you're really on. So for me, I realized, oh, uh-uh, this is not, it's not, because what is happening? And not only did I recognize that, I recognized that if I don't advocate for myself, and I deeply believe and I grew up learning that I am of high value, a person who comes from people of high character and high understanding of who they are. If I don't advocate for myself, no one else will. And even your friends are like, "Friend, there's nothing wrong with you. I love you," and they do love you, and they don't mean that, but that will help you still be looking like a bowl of oatmeal instead of something built
It's
up and
real.
strong. So
Yeah.
that's why I built it. I built Aspire Big, Inspire Bigger to just be a part of my transformation journey. And then I realized if I'm me, there's other women in this world that are them, and they're on this same journey. And if we could all come together and help each other, then we would get further together than alone. So,
Yeah.
and that's why I created the seminars. That's why I create the podcast. Why I create the women's group. Why I create relationship with people who are like minded, who want the best for themselves and for the rest of the people in the world. Like you don't know you love, you know that you love people even if you don't know them one on one. You
Mm-hmm.
know, that's something that's in your heart. Everybody don't have that in their hearts.
Right. I had to learn it,
Everybody
but
doesn't have
that's
that in their heart.
real.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that because that's why I love vision board parties so much because that is literally you are the captain of your ship. But oftentimes we, like you said, like you know where you kind of want to go, but your vision is what drives the ship. Like that's how you lead to where you want to go. And I feel like a lot of the times, whether it's our business, our health, we don't have a clear vision of where we're going, so things get really helter keltered. And so that's really it's important, like even so I be having to be like, calm it down, I'm like a brain nerd,
Mm-hmm.
but your character is actually based on your habits. So if you have a habit of living in the past or being past centered is what I like to call it, then your character is going to be a little bit more angry. You're going to be a little bit more of a fighter. You're going to be a little bit more jealous, you know. So if you are more focused on the future, you're always revving for the future, your character is actually going to be more like anxiety. It's going to be a little bit more like fast paced, like you move really quickly, but you have like anxiety. But when your character is usually present, that's when we feel people like, you know, when somebody comes in the room, you're like, their energy is dope.
Mm-hmm.
Typically those are the people that's more present centered. And so if you have a habit of always focusing on the present, always focusing on the past, always focusing on the future, or like a mixture of it, that's like literal habits. Like, oh, I have a habit of thinking about this. I have a habit of not letting go. I have a habit of being present. And then that actually cultivates who you actually are. And so if you have a vision to be grounded, grateful, you have to make your habits like in the present. But a lot of the times, if we don't think about like that vision, we don't know where we're going. Like, so if you never think about your vision, you might not think there's anything wrong about thinking about the past all the time. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because you don't even think about it. You're like, you're oblivious to like what that even means for yourself.
Right.
And so that's why I love the vision board party because, well, seminar, I say party because everything's party.
It's a party. It's a party.
It's a party. But because it's so imperative to actually know where you're going, especially like at these. You know, I don't want to get on my hotel boat, but I don't really clock in years per se. I do. It happens that my birthday is near the end of the year, so that's like a seasonal shift for me. But I won't even go into it. But anyway, you
No.
know how these hotels be, y'all. Don't play. But I don't believe that the new year is a new year because we're still in the dead of winter and things are still dying.
Yeah.
I believe that the new year is spring when life forms,
Hmm.
right? But that's how my seasons go in my life. In winter, I literally things die in my life. Like I see my relationships fall off, my habits start to die off, and they get like I start. I'm a swimmer, so when I really start to swim, it's always in the winter time. Like in the summertime, you could kick rocks. I'm not in the pool. In the springtime, I'm not in the pool. But when
What?
fall hits and winter hits, I'm 5 o'clock. I'm up swimming. Like it's
Really?
crazy. Yeah. So like my old habits start to die off. I start to eat better. My fasting starts, like everything dies off. I hibernate and I go really into self. And
Mm-hmm.
then springtime, like my projects and stuff start coming. Like I'm like planning for the year. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, I found that when I take time to sit down and actually visualize a whole 4 quarters of my life, like I did it for the first time, like for real this year. And let me tell you, the difference is crazy because you like, I know where my year is going now. Like I have my word for this year was growth. And like I see it. You can go and look at my business. You can see all of my words. So like that focus and that vision, I'm like, I have to do this like every year, every quarter. I have to have like, so I have a word for the year and then I have like words for the quarter because this is what we're focusing on. And this is what I have to do like in quarters, in year, and my quarters go up to my year. And then even in the quarters, I have 30, 60, 90 days now. So anyway, I went on a tangent, but that's why we're here. But that's why I love this vision because it all correlates with life and how we lead into what we want to be into. Like our daily habits literally are driven by our whole vision. And sometimes when we forget that whole vision, that daily become a struggle bus
Yeah,
episode. Okay.
exactly, exactly. And that's something that I like that you said, that you brought it up, because that's what I do too. I theme my year. I theme my year. And you know what this year was themed?
What?
Pivotal execution. Okay. So I named it Pivotal Execution because, oh, they partying.
Girl, that is the snack machine. He go by and he's like, "Hey, I got some snacks for you. Anybody
I
need
like
some?"
snacks. Okay, so
I'm in DR, y'all, so it's a little different here.
mm, that so I named it Pivotal Execution because uh exactly what you were speaking about. I realized that if I didn't have a change in direction, and it doesn't have to happen all at once. So the first part of the change is your realization. Your realization, and the second part is education. So you realize, something ain't right. Then you educate yourself on what feels like would be right. You learn all about that. And sometimes you learn all about that thing, and you're like, no, that isn't right for me. Then you reassess and you re-educate yourself. Then you realize, all right, I got it. This works. Now starts the pivoting. But pivot, I play basketball. So pivot is not just you turning all the way around. That's travel. You've traveled.
Right.
Okay. Ball goes the other way now. You lost it. It's to the other team.
Okay.
Okay. Pivot is you have one foot on the ground all the time. You move the other foot direction that you need to go. Now, if that direction didn't work, you can move it back. You can move it to the side a little bit. As long as you have control of the ball, you can turn and pivot to whichever angle you need. And if you know how to shoot the ball from anywhere, Steph Curry, then you could even say, oh, I see it here. You could look like you're nowhere near the basket and say, boop, because you're at the right angle, at the right place, no matter who's in front of you. But that's pivotal execution, right? So you
I
have to.
love that.
Right. So that's why I said this is my year of pivotal execution. The years before were education. They were reassessing. They were realization. And once that all comes into place, that's the practice. You've been practicing all this time. Now it's time for you to start putting things into place and start executing on the things that you have put together, the vision that you have realized, and move forward. So this year,
Yeah.
I man graduated, built a business, uh, still have a 9 to 5. Uh, um, I was partial caretaker to my dad while he was healing from an ailment, and I took care of myself. I took care of myself. Now I did get a little chubby. I'm not gonna lie to y'all about it. But 2022, I got that in check. you know,
Chubby's
I,
okay.
but it was a panoramic going on out here, and I live in New
Not
York
a
City, and they
panoramic,
don't
girl.
let it's panoramic. Won't let you outside. Going on outside, okay? So I had to stay in the house, and that wasn't conducive to my go to the gym schedule and routine. So I lost that completely. I was just holding on. Okay. So, but I did big things in that pivotal execution, and now I can habit stack and add on my habit of staying healthy, movement, and all of those things to the things that I'm already doing because I am intentional about what my future is going to look like. So, just like what you
Yeah.
said, really true. I really love that. And I hope that's helpful to the people who will see this, who are watching this, who are, all of that, because sometimes we think going with the flow is beautiful. It is chaotic. What are we doing here? Okay. Especially once you realize, like, oh, I do want to do a certain thing in life. Now you
Right.
realize what is happening.
Right. And that I think that's the difference. Like I have been in a period to go with the flow and it was beautiful. But when I start talking about building a ship and bringing people with me, you know what I'm saying? Like even this year I really had to learn like get a fucking coach. Like I'm
Yeah.
not saying this because I'm a coach, but literally in your life you need a coach. You need someone to step back and see the field because
Listen.
it's really hard to make the plays and play the game.
Yes.
And it's like, because even your coach has a coach. Like I coach people for a living. Mo coaches people for a living, and we have coaches.
Yeah.
Like this year of growth, I'm gonna tell you, like it's been so exponential because I've had coaches. Like it's little stuff. Like so, I have an event coming up, and I literally had. This is why I'm in DR.
Hmm.
Just a moment of honesty. I
Okay.
have an event coming up. I'm launching the first ever Black Entrepreneur Health Summit. And I was doing it. I'm a driver. That's like a personality thing where like people go, they get stuff done. I'm a driver. If I say I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. It is what it is, right?
Hmm.
But I could feel like winter. I had a van that I was living in. And so in the van, I was in winter and for the first time, I felt winter. I wasn't protected by a house or heat. You know what I'm saying? I was out there in the cold. And I realized this is making me depressed. Like I'm sad, I don't want to do my work. I'm not doing it. And I felt it a little bit in the house, but I was in the van for like 2 weeks, and it was a no-go for me. I was like, "The residuals of what's happening in the cold, I can't do this anymore."
Hmm.
Because I had to go to my doctor, and this is, I'm saying this to hone in on a point that even the people that you go to who are good at what they do, they still have people. I'm
Yes.
the shit at what I do. Like I'm a holistic health coach. I coach people all day. I still have a holistic doctor. And I went to her and was like, something's going on. Come to find out, I have all my thyroid needs to be balanced. And so that's like a hormone center. And so I'm getting depressed. I have this issue. My brain's foggy because of it. And so my body is like, run.
Oh.
So this is why I'm in DR because I was like, I have to get to the heat. I have to get to somewhere where I can get food, I can nourish myself and get back to it. And I'm telling you right now, and I did this. I had a coaching moment because I had a moment with my coach, and I was like, I feel like shit. And she was like, well, what will make you not feel like shit? And I was like, honestly, sunshine. She's like, why don't you go to sunshine? Mind you, I had just had a client 2 days prior, and
It's
she
just
was
like this.
like, yo, I need to go. I'm like, if you need to go, then go. You know what I'm saying? I'm coaching her the same shit. Like,
It's always that way. Just like I said, I got chubby this year. But let me tell you something. Don't even come to me and say that you can't fix your schedule up or you can't figure out how to time block and blah blah blah. Cause I got you on that. I have you, but I got chubby.
right.
And it's true. So it happens for the person who can give it. We need that person to help keep us structured too. Because we have
Yep.
so many we're giving. We need someone to pour into us too. Yep.
Right. You on the court. You got to get somebody who sees the whole court. Like, even that's why you don't play chess on the board. You got to be above the board to win chess.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? You at all times, you better know about your opponent all the players, you have to know all the players in chess.
Mm-hmm.
So that was big for me because even when I had into someone else who I can tell my vision to, like it's like sometimes even having the vision shit get a little, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But to have a coach, oh my God, that has changed the game for me because like literally I had to go to the beach today and be grateful because I still came here. My brain got clear and I felt behind, so I just started working. Like yesterday, I didn't even leave my hotel room. I was like, and I got work done. And my coach was like, "Boo, you got to work smarter, not harder. Go take care of yourself. Go do what you came here to do." And today I feel
Ugh.
amazing.
Good, good. Because if you went back and didn't, you know, you wasn't intentional about what you were gonna do and you didn't follow through, you would regret it. You would feel worse.
Exactly. And my how can I serve you? How can I serve you if I'm feeling bad? Now that feels like you're stealing from me when really I'm making myself a thief.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's a lot of the times what's wrong with us is like, and that's the gap between our vision is like taking care of ourselves because you can have a vision, but if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't have somebody to hold you accountable for taking care of yourself, it feels like the world is doing you a disservice when really you're doing the disservice to yourself.
Exactly.
Every time that you show up in the world, it's a direct reflection of how you show up to yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
If people can't commit to you, if you're doing a project and you find like people aren't committing to you, you're not committing to yourself.
Mm. Plain
You
and
said you were going to water fast on Tuesday and you ate a hamburger.
simple. I
You know what I'm
know.
saying? So if you can't hold that commitment to yourself, people can't commit to you.
That's it. Plain and simple. And that shows up in so many different areas of people's life. We can go into that. That's simple. How you eat, how you treat yourself, relationships, ladies, y'all already know. If you hold the standard, if you don't treat yourself with love, care, class, dignity, and nobody else will. That goes into parenthood. If you don't have the structure, your kids will run you down. And they're gonna get bigger than you one day. I don't
Okay.
care how big you think you are today. One day, that little boy gonna be 6 foot and you still 5'2", ma, and he gonna be like, "Ma, I
Right.
said." Since when you start telling me what to do? Okay, parenthood, relationship, uh, family. You hold the standard of how others will treat you, and it first starts with how you treat yourself, and that is why I am intentional about gathering the right people around me, intentional
Yes.
about putting together a vision board seminar, putting together a women's group that comes together um and shows up for themselves. Yes, these is 2 hour sessions, right? In a women's group that I have called the Vast Community. And yes, you could say, "Oh, I'm not going to be able to make it this week." But then what did you do instead? Did you show up for yourself in those 2 hours? Because this was a time that you allotted to show up for yourself intentionally, just for you. Learn something new, ingest something new, have something new that you deserve for yourself. Uh you can choose to do for yourself and choose to uh feed yourself just the same way you can choose not to.
Right.
So this is important. Yeah, you take the time out that you could be doing something else that, I mean, all the other things that you can be doing won't serve you. They won't serve you, but you can take this time to do something that is going to serve you. I have my 2022 all planned out already. It's here. This is my vision board is ready already. You know? Because since I want to facilitate the party, I want to be prepared. I want to be able to help this person here, and if I have to dip off into another room with somebody, I would. Um, but my 2022 is prepared the same way my 2021 was prepared early, in December of 2020, because I know how important it is to take the time out. Now you're talking to somebody who was in the middle of finals, who is in the middle of at my in my job, we take off the last 2 weeks um of the year, or the last week of the year, and then up until the new year. So you're talking about somebody who has deadlines, had the last test, um building a seminar for people to come to have that time, and still took time out to create her whole vision board. It took me a couple of hours on the afternoon, and now my whole 2022 has been captured. I know the direction I'm heading to. In 2021, some things changed, and I was able to pivot. So that doesn't mean that 2022 is in stone, but at least I guided myself to where I want to go. Take the time to do that. That's what this Sunday is about. That's what the
Yeah.
vast community is about. That's what your event is about. Take the time out to find people who are looking to do better for themselves, so that you can
Yeah.
find your tribe. Some of you want to do better for yourself, but some of you are around people who think that the same old mundane is sufficient. It's not. I'm telling you, it's a piss poor way to live. You know it is, and I know it is. Get you
Yeah.
around the
And
right.
that's really like, here I go with my brain stuff again, but it's so important. It's really scientific. Like scientifically, we go through a stage of domestication, and like our parents and all the adults teach us how to be, and then that's how we are. But your brain's job is to keep you safe. And so safe in the brain world is familiar. Meaning, like, if I'm a liar, in order to keep me safe, my brain's like, you need to you need to lie right now. You need to lie. You know what I'm saying? So when you're trying to do something new, there is this anchoredness that has to be there, because your brain's job is literally to keep you in where you're going. If you steal, like I used to steal a lot, y'all. I used to be the best stealer out on these streets. Okay.
Still,
I used to steal, Lord. I used to come out with whole outfits, like shoes, steal everything. What?
what?
Walkie talkies,
Walkie talkie.
electronics, stolen it. A GPS system.
That's
I
mine.
didn't
I
care.
see it.
Okay.
I want it. I got it.
I got it. A bitch gonna get what she needs.
Oh.
Okay. So I remember when I started getting into like abundance mindset. And I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I'm gonna be abundant, I don't think I can steal.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, my brain it literally tries to keep me safe. I'll see something in the store, and sometimes I'll be like, no one's watching me. Like it still comes back. And it's been
Mhm.
years.
That's real.
Years. So those things are like literally your brain trying to keep you safe. Anytime you do something new, you're going to have that. That's why if you try to stop smoking, your brain's like, yo, the cigarette. But what a habit is telling your brain different over and over and over until it gets strong enough to do it by itself.
Plain and
And
simple.
sometimes, like, they be lying, y'all. They be lying. They be like, oh, if you do something for 28 days, it's a habit. It's a fucking lie. It's a fucking lie. I'm telling you, I still have to train my brain not to steal. And I'm 33. I don't think I've stolen anything purposefully. Um, um, it has to be at least, it has to be at least 5 years now.
Okay.
And there's still times, and it's like, ain't nobody watching. Like my brain will literally click on. So it's scientific, man. Like it's real. When you're trying to change a habit, when you are changing a habit, you have a lot of this working against you.
Right.
And so you get grounded in your vision, because if you don't have a vision and this is just all you're trying to change, it can go left real fucking quick. And that's scientific. Like your brain literally, it it has to get used to the new thing. You have to, because your brain goes into trial and error, right? So even when it's new, it's shaky. It's like, oh my God, if you have something new, your brain gets like, oh my God, I don't know what's going on. This is dangerous. It literally is telling you it's dangerous, because it doesn't know what's going on. It doesn't know, like, what your brain's trying to do is find an equation.
Mm-hmm.
If this, then this. All right. So when you are introduced to something new, it's a trial and error, just like you said, right? You have to pivot, right? So
Yeah.
that it's alarming. That's a good word. It's alarming to your brain when you have trial and error because it's really just trying to keep you safe, which give thanks. Like, I don't want to go through trauma responses and stuff, but that's literally how your brain gets you to survive is like, how do we find safety? You know what I'm saying? So when you have that new thing, you're in trial and error, your brain is like in a muck. And then it finds something that works, right? So your job is that thing that works to be going in the direction that you need to. Your brain is non-biased. Okay, so if you're anxious, right, and you meditate, your brain is not privy to meditation over a cigarette. It just needs a solution. So it's non-biased. Habit forming is non-biased. It is going to go whatever works. And so the vision helps you go this direction to meditation rather than the smoking. Because if your goal and your vision is to be healthy, then the smoking doesn't fit in that. And okay, let me take my brain this way. Because
Mm-hmm.
whatever way you take your brain gonna take over, it's gonna go that way. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna form the habit to where it needs to go. So I don't know how we got there, but that was
No, yeah.
really important that you have to really go in the direction that you're needing to go with your vision because your brain doesn't give two flying fucks. It's just gonna go to
Right.
whatever makes me feel better right now and makes me have a solution that I can be steady in. And if that's drugs, sex, crack, cigarettes, it will go. That's why you have crackheads. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the same as why somebody needs a cup of coffee and then another person needs to meditate before they get their day started.
Mm-hmm.
Their brain's doing the same exact thing.
Is it the same for people who shut down?
Well, okay, so shutting down is, well, that goes into trauma responses. So
Mm-hmm.
trauma response and habits are a little different, but your shut down will typically put you into the habit over here. You know what I'm saying? Like if you shut down, your habit's probably going to be more like drinking. Or if it's a healthy habit, it'll be more like journaling because you're shut down. So
Yeah.
you can be in a trauma response and use it to because
Do something
one
positive.
exactly, you don't just get out of your trauma response. There's like a pattern that you go to take the path to get out.
Yeah.
And so like mine getting out of my trauma response, I'm a runner. Now, I'm still a runner, but the difference is I have a very keen self-awareness in the run,
Yeah.
right? So now instead of when I feel uncomfortable, I run, I feel uncomfortable, I assess, and then I run. Now, I'll still like to get out of that response because there are times where it's like I need to run, and there's times when I don't, but
Yeah.
I'm not about that shit. I just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm
Yep.
not all the way out of my trauma response yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can have a
Yeah.
healthy habit within your trauma response. The only one that gets really difficult in that is flop. Flop is really difficult to have a healthy response in, but it still can happen. So their 5 trauma responses are friend, flight, fight, freeze, flop. Friend, you call for a friend. Flight, you get the fuck out of here. Fight, you throwing them bones. Freeze is like a deer in headlights, you just freeze. And then flop is a psychological disassociation to make the unbearable bearable. We find that in a lot of abuse, whether it's physical, sexual, mental. When you're being abused, a lot of times your nervous system has to go into flop so that you can survive it. So I just wanted to put those because we started talking about it.
Yeah, and that's helpful too, so people understand when they see this, they know what we talking about. That's because that's
Right.
why I brought it up because some people may think that when you talk about bad habits, it's just about the negative things that'll physically harm you, like smoking, drinking, uh, unprotected, uh, emotional baggage, sex, right? That's not like the healthy. I have a partner, so they care about me, and They're helping me out. It's like find anything. Okay, I
Right.
just want to feel good. What Halle Berry said in Monsters Ball. I just want to feel good. That- so there are a lot of unhealthy things that will lead us down a road of more suffering, plain and simple. And those are habits that people pick up, and that's true. Um, but then there are other things that you just said that help even clarify for me. Like you might have a trauma response. That doesn't quite mean that's a habit, but what you do through that trauma response are the habits. So, like how you said you're a runner. I don't know if I can place where I am, right? I
Mhm.
don't know if I am. Can you flop all the time, or that's excessive? Are you like
No, I mean
a psychopath if you flop all the time?
no, and this
A
culture of
sociopath?
like sociopath, psychopath. What's the other one where people are like all into themselves and they say,
Narcissist?
yeah, narcissist. I don't like this culture because it makes you act as though, like, if you're with a narcissist, you probably have narcissistic characteristics, and that's why you're a mirror of each other.
Right.
So, but narcissism is a lot of trauma response. Like when people grow up and their mom, for instance, didn't allow them to express themselves or whatever, they had to be about themselves because no one else was.
Yes.
Everyone was like, shut up, sit down, whatever. So that's how they survived. A lot of people have to be about themselves in order to survive. If you grow up in New York, that's what I'm saying. You have to be about yourself because if you're
Hmm.
not, if you're on the street with 2 million people, your brain has to be about yourself.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So I don't know. There's a culture of putting labels on people, but if you're attached to that person,
Something about you. Um. So I feel like I will detach,
yeah. So here's the thing. If
but
you
then
go
I will
through
fight.
multiple traumas, the trauma response it is embedded deeper and deeper a lot of the times.
Hmm.
And so this is where we have like when you say there's levels to this ish.
Hmm.
But if you continue to go through trauma and you're just a flopper, it's deeper and deep. Your nervous
Yeah.
system is deeper and deeper in there. So you can be like, I guess you could say a chronic flopper, but it's so I'll just put this out there. When I coach my clients, one of the first things we work on in our first couple of sessions is stop thinking that it's bad. It's not bad that you're a flopper because
Right.
your nervous system had to flop for you to be here now. So we give thanks. Like, give thanks that I flopped. You know what I'm saying? Give thanks that I froze. I'm so grateful that I disassociated psychologically in these moments because now I can live. So
Hmm.
that's first things first is like I don't want you to think like flop is bad because if compassion is showing love to someone who needs help. And if you got to the point where you were in flop, you deserve compassion. If you got to the point where you needed freeze, friend, flight, fight, you deserve compassion because you just needed help. And this is how your nervous system helped you. This is
Right.
your nervous system actually showing compassion to you to make it through. And
Hmm.
so we go into the space of having gratitude for our trauma first. Because, like you saying, and even with your pivot, there has to be a groundedness in it. So you ground in your trauma, you give thanks for it, and then you start to pivot. Because
Yeah.
once that foot comes up, you're now traveling.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying?
If it
So
wasn't for, like to put it in a personal box, if it wasn't for my trauma, I wouldn't say something's wrong. If it wasn't for my trauma
exactly,
response, I wouldn't say something's wrong. How do I not go through this over and over again and become numb, fully
exactly,
numb, and entrenched in this lifestyle that I don't want to have, that I never imagined for myself? Um, if this is my response every single time. Now, uh, and and it does save me. It does
yeah,
save. It does. When you say, "Oh, that's why I wanted to." really understand what flop is, because there's a difference between having boundaries and being a flopper too. Like,
Yeah.
so my boundaries will tell me, shut it down. Whatever this person said they were to you, they're not. You cannot believe them anymore, no matter what they say. Separate yourself emotionally and move on out, because this is not right.
Right.
You know, um,
But that's also your healed self. Your so when we are with people in our unhealed self and we go through our healing journey, that person is literally dying. And
mm,
you can't relate to them in the same, because if, like I said, your habits are directly related to who you are. So for instance, if you are with somebody in your unhealed self and you start to just read when you wake up, you're a different person. Like, people be like, new you, like, yes, bitch, it's new. You know what I'm saying?
give
I'm
me
a
who
new
this.
person. Yeah, there's somebody who's died, and this is me, and that is true, and it's okay. So now what you're dealing with is a situation where your nervous system is like, I can't deal with this anymore. You've asked me to move. I have moved. We started on this journey, and this person's back here. That's that person who I was connected to. That's
Right.
back there. I can't, I have to run because now this doesn't serve me.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And that's a lot of times when you see people on healing journeys and they're like, if my husband's not healing, I feel crazy now, because
Yeah.
now you guys are not, you know what I'm saying?
Same
You
part.
have a person who died and you're trying to connect on a new person, and it's really
It
hard.
wasn't there. It wasn't there, so it's not. Yeah, it's hard. So
It's
this is
hard.
good. This is good, especially for the people, like I said, who see this and who are in transition of, the person they were to the person they want to be,
Right.
and they don't know. They're like, I want to start getting started, or want to start joining new things and being a part of new things and experiencing new things, but I don't know. So doing something like doing a vision board, simple, being a part of a seminar where people are going to speak life into you, and then you're going to get to plan out your next year. I'm not saying you have to plan it out and you have to follow everything, but at least you have a mind to do the things that are best for you for next year. Going
Right.
to a Black Health Summit, okay? Um, these are things that you need if you're
Yeah.
starting to understand who you are, who you were born to be, who you created to be. These are things that you need to do. So come and
Yeah.
join us. That's plain and simple. That's really all I wanted to say. I
Join
wanted
your
to show
life.
off Charette's brain smart, so I asked her some questions, and also because
You
I
did.
want
You
y'all
was
to
like,
know.
go into it, sis.
Yeah, because I want y'all to know that she's gonna be there and she's gonna set y'all free. Some of y'all need to be set free in the brain,
Right.
okay? Because some of y'all is insane in the membrane, me included. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
And it's okay. It's okay.
Me included. So
Yeah.
I really, really appreciate you coming and talking to me on live, and just letting the people know where we're gonna be, and how we're gonna give it up.
Yes, I'm so excited for this. This is I'm really getting into my visions for seasons, and so this is in such alignment. So I really appreciate you inviting me to this space, and just know I'm really excited, and every time I show up, I'm just so grateful for everyone who's always in the building and the energy that's created. So I'm excited for you to come and join us too.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Alrighty. Alrighty. Well, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day.
Yes.
And we gonna, keep on working. Keep on
Yes.
working. And we will see y'all Sunday, December 19th from 12 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
And we're gonna spread love. We're going to feed you with love. And then we're gonna party and really put our vision down on paper. It makes a big difference. If you had homework and you just had to recite it, all of your homework from first grade to 12th grade, you would know nothing. Just so you know. You would know
Just
nothing.
so
Write
you
it
know.
down. Just so you know. You will remember that you did none of that. Just
Yes,
write it down. It makes a difference.
it does.
Alrighty. Alrighty, y'all be good. Remember to aspire big so that you can inspire bigger. And invite somebody to come on
And
to the
bring that
stage.
ass.
Bring that in here. Okay. Bye, y'all. Later.
Toodles.